What happens when you take a former Valkyrie, a jealous, love-struck demon, a whole lot of monster girls, and a really unfortunate priestess? You get the cute and sometimes sexy corruption of Laetitia. In the game, the main character, whose name can be changed, is a half-angel who is on a mission to eradicate evil and demons from the world. However, after her last mission, she was betrayed by those she trusted and her angelic grace was removed from her body. This turned her into a demon, and the game proper begins. There's a lot to like about this game, the chief of which is that it has so many branching paths. Want to be the good guy? Sure. Want to consume every soul you come across and grow in dark power? Why not? Want to sacrifice your naive priestess friend to a slime queen for breeding? I may have. Anyway, lots of branching choices, and a lot of different stories can develop from this. It was honestly my favorite thing about the game. Also, it can be exceedingly difficult. I played a version before difficulties were introduced, and even now it still feels tough, but fairer. It's the kind of combat that keeps you on your toes and acting more defensively, though. On that, the combat was still a bit rough. A few bad turns, or hell, even a single turn of RNG, and the fight goes sour fast. And sometimes it's next to impossible to recover from. Still, a lot of the difficulty and hardship I experienced was my own doing, by making poor choices. It was my fault, not the game's. And you know what? I actually respect the hell out of that. Corruption of Laetitia has a cute, but also sexy story. It's a Yuri game with romance. There are some suggestive CGs, but nothing ever goes above, I'd say, like a PG-13 level. There are tons of branching paths that affect the story. Your choices affect the game in meaningful ways, and I love that you can actually give up an ally to try and get a stronger version of another one, and the choices you make, basically, they can either help or hinder your quest, but it's up to you. You're the one making the choices. So follow what the game tells you in the beginning and make a lot of backup saves. I also really like the maps and the custom sprites. The custom work on this looks really good and fits in well with the whole aesthetic of the game. With there being Yuri romance within the game, there are quite a few sexual overtones. I personally didn't care. I mean, hell, I liked the way a lot of them were handled. But there are a lot of adult situations, as well as some light sexual assault. Breast grabbing, force kissing, stuff like that. Again, it doesn't go above PG-13 levels, but it is there. The version I played was incredibly buggy, but it was constantly being fixed. Basically, when I played, I managed to find just about every bug in existence because I played an atypical path. I somehow managed to sacrifice my priest in the early game. I also chose a mage, one of the harder classes, and I was pretty much going through it as neutral as possible. It didn't work out that well for me. But the dev was very quick to work on fixes and fixed them fast. The SRPG sections... Why is it neutral? They're entirely skippable, and while I like them, they only show up in the later sections of the game and only twice. Couple that with them feeling a little bit clunky, and yeah. I wish they were either more incorporated into the main game, or they were just left out entirely. They feel a little tacked on, but it does kind of give reason for you building your army, so I understand why it's there, I just wish it would have been explored a little more. It's kind of easy to screw yourself over if you're not careful. Some choices are better than others, and I managed to make the game nearly impossibly difficult by picking not only a weaker starting class, but also managing to get rid of my healer fairly early. Just back up those saves. It can be super loud. A common complaint of mine for RPG Maker games is that the volume levels are usually at the maximum, and the soundtracks used are quite loud to begin with. And the options to adjust the volume are only in the game. I believe it's a limitation of the X-Ace, but still, it would be nicer if music were set at a lower level to begin with. Healing items can be kind of hard to come by early game. In the version I played, they were a tad expensive. I understand that gold drops have been increased, but I still think the prices are a little high for those. So my final opinion on Corruption of Laetitia. Is it worth getting corrupted over, or is this a Yuri romance that's doomed from the start? I'd say this game is definitely something you should try. For all its faults and issues, I loved the story of the game. I mean, so much so that I even restarted my initial playthrough of it to go back and give the dev even better critiques than I had the first time. And for my trouble, I got dubbed the Living Chaos Theory in the credits. I'd say it was worth it. Anyway, it's free, pick it up, try it, I think you'll like it. I'm HawkZombie. Thanks for listening.